President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has signed a new law that many say could destroy the independence of Ukraine's top anti-corruption agencies, NABU and SAPO, National Anti-Corruption Bureau of Ukraine and Specialized Anti-Corruption Prosecutor's Office. The law approved by members of parliament gives more power to the Prosecutor General over both institutions. Critics warn this will stop NABU and SAPO from working freely and holding top officials accountable. The Ukrainian government says it is not abandoning its anti-corruption goals. Officials claim some agency staff had links to Russia and were spying for Russian intelligence services. But these explanations haven't convinced the public. Protests have broken out across Ukraine. People say these decisions bring the country back to the times of former President Yanukovych, a symbol of corruption and political retreat.
In general, this is what probably still holds our system together, because if we completely abandon the NABU, then everyone will be able to do what they want even more, and everyone will steal like the last time. It's not fun at all. Because when the front is moving at a very high speed, we must do everything to ensure that our country is united, free, and independent, and support the army by all methods.
We still have big problems with top corruption, especially the one that eats up a huge amount of our Ukrainian GDP in a warring country. Instead, we see how the president of Ukraine, instead of being an example, being the locomotive of this history of struggle and demonstrating zero tolerance for corruption, is now using his own resources to take control of the criminal proceedings of his entourage.
Despite the protest, President Zelenskyy defended the law. He said NABU and SAPO were ineffective and failed to bring results.
For years, officials who have fled Ukraine have been casually living abroad for some reason, in very nice countries and without legal consequences. And this is not normal. There is no rational explanation for why criminal proceedings worth billions have been hanging for years. And there is no explanation why the Russians can still get the information they need. Important is, without Russians. Important is to have an inevitability of punishment, and that society really sees it.
The European Commission raised concerns even before the vote. It said NABU and SAPO are essential for Ukraine's reform process and must stay independent to keep public trust. The European Commission believes that the decision of Ukrainian member of parliament to adopt a law to reduce the powers of the NABU and SAPO is a serious step back. And further aid to Ukraine depends on real progress in transparency, justice reform and democracy.
Seriously concerned over today's vote in the Rada, the dismantling of key safeguards protecting NABU's independence is a serious step back.
This is happening as Ukraine tries to move closer to the European Union. But with this decision, the country is going back to a system similar to 2012, when the Prosecutor General controlled law enforcement and independence was only on paper. NABU and SAPO were created over 10 years ago in 2014 after the Euromaidan revolution. These were independent bodies set up to fight high-level corruption. Now with this new law, Ukraine's parliament and President Zelenskyy have removed their independence. Delegations from Ukraine and Russia are meeting today in Istanbul for a new round of talks. The main focus is the return of Ukrainian prisoners of war and children taken to Russia, a priority for President Zelenskyy. Ukraine's team is led by National Security Council Chief Rustem Umerov, but Russia has already played down expectations. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said there is no reason to expect a breakthrough. He also insisted that Russia will keep pushing its demands. Analysts at the Institute for the Study of War say Russia still wants regime change in Kyiv, wants NATO to close its doors to Ukraine, and wants Ukraine's military reduced. Military experts believe the Kremlin is not seeking real peace, but using the talks to buy time and gain advantage on the battlefield. This is all for now. This was Natalia Lutsenko. To learn more, follow our page.